All right. We're doing real good. All right. Right out of the gate. This is the first ever episode of Elite Heat, and boy, is it going to sound like it.
Boom. It is, we're gangbusters.
So I'm Tim. That's Doug. And Doug somehow has apparently already almost killed your computer. What did you do?
Okay. So I have a arm attached above me in the closet, and I accidentally unscrewed the wrong thing.
Oh, so you're doing it again. That's the important thing.
It, which means this metal rod fell and hit my computer, but it hit in the only place that wouldn't wreck it. So I almost wrecked it about 3 minutes ago. So yeah.
Awesome. That's what you want.
Feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good about it.
So here we are in our extremely professional setups, as you can see. The hope is that someday somebody will give us money so we can get better stuff.
Exactly.
Talking to you, Blue Chew. I mean, they sponsor every other wrestling podcast. Like,
take it.
Why not? So anyway, here we are a couple, 12-ish hours after the end of Full Gear 2025. I have thoughts about the main event.
Okay. Do you want to start there?
Nope. I want to do this in chronological order because that's how my notes are.
That's fine. That's fine. Let's do that then.
And it's all about me and what makes me comfortable.
Yeah, man.
Screw the rest of you jabronis.
Thank you. Put my stick away.
That would probably be a good start before you hurt yourself or others.
Speaking of putting my stick away, with Blue Chew, it's going to be tougher for you to put your stick away because, man, oh man, does that work.
Well, you'll need a doctor after a certain amount of hours, but
and if your Blue Chew effect lasts 4 hours or longer, congratulations.
Yeah. Don't call a doctor. Go to Vegas. Go to Reno.
Or Thailand.
Yeah, apparently. All right, so let's start with the $250,000 four-way tag team extravaganza. Here's why I sigh.
Okay.
I think that they have gotten into too much of a money match crutch. We've had a bunch of them lately.
You had two on the same show.
Mm-hmm. And there have been a bunch of them on, Dynamites and Collisions running up to it. And I think it makes sense within the Young Bucks storyline.
Yes, 100%.
But with the others, I just... I don't know.
Why?
Yeah, I don't get it.
I that one had me scratching my head as well. I honestly kind of forgot they were doing the money thing until the match. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, and... So, I mean, whatever. If that's their way of wanting to put stakes on a match, I guess that's fine.
Yeah.
I think I would rather you do something like, winner goes on to like a number one contender match or something. I don't know. I'd like to see him shake that up a little bit.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, I thought it was a good match. Finish surprised me.
Yeah.
I don't know if...
shocked.
Yeah, I don't know if you... we did picks on social media. We did not do good. You can find us at Elite Heat Pod on pretty much every social media channel. Because other jerks sat on Elite Heat, but whatever.
Idiots.
So we put picks up there before the show. We did poorly, and this is one that we both got wrong.
Yeah. I picked for the Scissor Boys to come back together. And
I did too. I mean, I thought that they would win because they're doing the storyline of like they're supposed to tag together, but they don't like each other. And I thought it made sense within storyline context. Here's what I'll say though. Obviously spoilers, by the way, here, if you haven't watched the show yet. I will say I was glad to see the Bang Bang Gang win. Yeah. Because I'm hoping they'll do something with them now. Cause I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of forgot about them. And I know there have been injuries.
Yeah, half you had one left, I think, that was uninjured. So
yeah. So I'm hoping they'll do something with him now. Also, did you remember that they had signed Ace Austin? Because I didn't.
Mm-hmm. I like Ace Austin. I think it's a good sign. I think him with the Bang Bang Gang is a good call. Mm-hmm. Still waiting for Jay White to get back, but otherwise, I was a little surprised by that win. I'm not hating on it.
No, I'm not either. Like I said, I hope they do something more with them. I hope it's a sign that at least one of those dudes, either him or I think it's Colton is the injured gun.
Yes. Yes.
Hopefully it means that at least one of them is getting close to coming back. I'd just like to see him do something.
Yeah.
I like the Bang Bang Gang. I always have. I think they're fun.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Yeah. Solid match, though. RPG Vice and Boom and Doom. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's one of those matches that I'm not sure why they're doing it. I'm not sure what this Big Boom AJ, I mean, I get it. He's got a big social following.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of a professional wrestler on the indies, sort of, kind of. And I get it. They're getting eyeballs on the product.
Mm-hmm.
Having RPG Vice take a loss to Boom and Doom, which I saw coming because you're not going to have Boom and Doom lose, I don't think.
I don't think he's ever lost with
No.
AEW. I think he's undefeated.
And I mean, I get it. It's there to be entertaining. You pick a team that's going to work with them well. Those two guys can make anybody look decent, and so it's fine. It's fine for what it is. It wasn't a match for us. I think it was for the younger kids, and that's great.
Yeah, I agree. Here's what I wrote. Probably better than it should have been, but meh.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel. Once upon a time, I thought Trent Beretta was absolutely going to be a world champion in this company. I'm sad to see that he's jobbing to pretty much everybody now.
Yeah, 100%. I think, yeah, if you want to go down the path of who is underused and not getting their due, I think Trent Beretta is long overdue to make a solo run or even another tag run with RPG Vice. But
I mean, if you go back and watch some of those old, like early Dynamites and stuff, which you can do on HBO Max,
right?
He looked so much like this dude is going to find his way to the top of the mountain. And I know injuries have been part of it and all that stuff, but
I mean, Best Friends were one of the teams that kept them going through COVID. I mean, they looked so good. So
yeah. I it's sad to see that, but I mean, for what it was, it's fine. I'll say this about the Costco guy. I don't even know his name.
Big Boom AJ, come on, man.
Sure. I'll say this. I think he takes it seriously. Like, I think he's giving you the best he's got. I'm actually fairly impressed by him. I thought he sold pretty well. I mean, there were a couple spots where I was like, dude knows how to sell.
Yeah. Like I said,
it's fine.
It's fine. Like I said, a spot on a pay-per-view, even the pre-show.
Yeah.
I get it. You want more eyes on the product, so make that happen. But
yeah, and I think, aren't they from like that area? And so it was probably try to help sell tickets too. I could be wrong on that.
Possibly.
I don't know the guy's name. I don't know anything about him. But
it's Big Boom AJ, duh.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember that by the time we finish.
I think you've forgotten already.
Steve? Is his name Steve?
Yep. Steve.
Feel like it's Steve.
Yes. Boom, Steve Boom, I think is what his name is.
No, I don't think that's right. I think it's like Steve Romano. Anyway.
Okay.
I don't know where I pulled that from, but whatever. That wasn't my best joke. I'm going to love to tell you that they'll get better. They won't.
No, they won't.
I think we can spend about as much time on, don't think I didn't catch that, by the way. I'll give you a receipt. I think we can spend about as much time on Hook and Eddie and the Workhorsemen as the match was, possibly even less.
Right.
Did anybody think the Workhorsemen were going to win?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah. Not. Is fine.
The sad thing about it is I want to see more Eddie Kingston. And
I do too.
So that's sad for me. But there's nothing about that match that intrigued me other than seeing Eddie back on the screen.
Yeah, my thought on it was I think they're giving him these matches to help get him back into ring shape after the injury. And that's fine. I totally get that. That's fine. That's probably the right thing to do. I do think you're about to see him ramp up.
I hope so.
We'll talk about that when we get to the main event.
Yes, because
again, I have thoughts.
Okay.
CMLL Trios title. I knew it was going to run over. This is going to be the new thing. If you have a problem with it, I'm very sorry to tell you this is going to be the thing. They're going to have it run over into the start of the show. But what'd you think of the match?
I mean, with that amount of talent in the ring, it's going to be a really solid match, in my humble opinion. I thought it was I thought the run over was a little surprising. I was like, oh, okay.
That's what it's going to be. When they did it, if I'm not mistaken, was Wrestle Dream the last pay-per-view?
I believe so, yeah.
They did it for that. And when they did it, I went, he's gonna keep doing this. This is Tony's new obsession. I think he gets hyper focused on stuff. I'm guessing we've met Tony.
Yeah.
Some background on us. I'm from Champaign, where Tony Khan is also from, but I didn't meet him until he started AEW. Even though like we probably know people in common because we're pretty close in age. So like we have ties to Champaign. We got to meet him the first time they brought Dynamite through to Champaign because Doug and I were both working in radio there at the time. Here's my thought on Tony Khan. Like most really smart people, and he is, love him or hate him, he is brilliant. That's obvious. If you spend 5 minutes with him, you know that. I think like most really, really smart people, I think there's some ADHD there.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he's on the spectrum.
I think that too. 100%. And so I think that he hyper focuses on things, and that's where we get a bunch of money matches. It's where he's like, yay, this is fun, having to run over into the start of the pay-per-view. Look, I get it. If you're going to have a match run over, it's this one. I mean, it just is. Yeah. I'll say this. The whole thing of Okada just taking his sweet time. Dude, I laughed. I thought it was funny.
I think Okada, they're giving him so much personality for someone who, and it works so well with him in the way that's being portrayed. I do feel like they are dragging this collision out between him and Takeshita a little long.
I think some of that is related to Takeshita being the IWGP champion. He's got to go to Japan. You know, he's got to go to Japan and defend. If I'm not mistaken, isn't he? No, Okada is. Oh my God, why am I blanking on his name? The president of the company who's retiring.
Oh, I don't remember either.
Tanahashi, right?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
You know how sometimes you say something and you're like, no, that's right, right? You know, it's like when you spell a word and you're like, no, that's right. Isn't it?
Almost every time I speak, yes.
I know Okada's his last opponent, but I mean, look, obviously you're going to have your champion on that card. Like Tokyo Dome is not far away. Like I get it. That's, I think, part of it, but
now looking at it and looking further down the card, it makes sense why it didn't implode there.
Yep.
And we'll get to that.
Yep. But overall, I really enjoyed the match. I did find it really funny, and I'm not, this is going to sound like I'm knocking him. I'm not. I just thought it was funny that Mystico comes back and doesn't sell the elbow like at all. like his like second move or third move after coming back is the handspring elbow, if I recall correctly. And I'm like, shouldn't that have hurt?
Right. Who do you think you are? Goldberg? What are you doing?
I thought, I know, right? I thought that was funny though. I enjoyed it.
You should just Joe noped him and just
yeah. I thought the other thing in the match that really made me laugh was when Takeshita turned to Neon and go, I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but and was like, hold on. So he could fight with Okada. So he could turn around and argue with his teammate.
Yes.
Look, it's a good match just off talent. It's a good match just watch. It's legitimately funny. It is. I don't know if they were going for that. It's legitimately funny though.
It's so good, and that chemistry between those two, Takeshita and Okada, is so weird that it works. It hits all the dopamine receptors in my brain, and I like it. I really like it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm looking forward to when they finally properly mix it up. I think it's going to be really good.
That's going to be awesome.
Now, here's where I don't like the overrun. Okay. Because now we get into the quote unquote proper show and we start with Darby and Pac. It used to be a thing as recent as 2 months ago where we would be talking about who's going to open the show because that's what's supposed to set the tone, right?
Yeah.
Suddenly with the overrun, well, now it's who closes the pre-show.
Yeah.
Because that's really what's setting it up. And that's where I don't love them doing the overrun. Like I said, get used to it. 100%. You're going to do it again. But
right. I mean, if you're going to close the pre-show and do the overrun, that's having Okada and Takeshita in it, I don't know if the other team who actually they're the trios champion, so it makes sense. But
yeah, well, and here's the thing too, that he's another one whose name I struggle to remember, but I think it's Mascara Dorado.
Sure.
He's the third guy that's not Místico or Neon, right? He's
Right.
the one in gold. He has made a name for himself very quickly in AEW with some matches there. Like, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I think that at some point they're going to sign him. And so I think it was also, I think it was also a spot to feature him, which I have no problem with. I think the dude is crazy talented. Like, I don't even remember what it was, but he was in a match. And I was like, well, I mean, they'll do their usual thing where it's not a squash, but it's a squash, right? Like you get the offense in, but then, we know who's winning this. I think it was him and Okada, actually. And I was blown away by him. Like, I was like, this dude is legit. So I think he's going to be all elite sooner rather than later. And I think that played into it as well.
Right.
But now you get Darby and Pac, which are technically opening the show, but also not.
Yes.
I don't know. I thought, I did think it was very funny, again, when Pac broke out the old school bully arm burn.
Oh, yeah.
On Darby. I get why he did it.
It's such a weird thing. It's so fun, though.
Yeah, really I thought it was funny. Like, I get why he did it, but it was just funny to see, like, I mean, like, my brother and I used to do that to each other, like.
Oh, yeah. If you had siblings, you did that.
But other than that,
done to you all the time.
I had never seen somebody go through the ropes sideways in the turnbuckle like Darby did. That was nuts. On the Irish whip.
That guy is phenomenal. And the things he's phenomenal. You normally offensively, yes, like his offense, but he's one of the few people you could say he's phenomenal the way he takes a bump. And it's like you've never seen that before. And that is so bonkers.
I will also say, by the time he's 45, he won't be able to walk.
Oh, no, he won't have any joints that were his when he was born.
He going to look a lot like Terry Funk. Like, he is.
Oh, buddy.
I know. That said, even though it surprised me, this is yet another one that we picked incorrectly. I think the finish was probably right because they needed a win. The Death Riders needed a win.
See, and that's where I had a hard time picking any Death Riders match because I was like, they aren't going to have a clean sweep.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were. I don't want to get too far down the card, but I thought
it's fine.
I thought Mox was going to pick up the win.
I did too.
So I didn't think Pac was going to win. So and I thought this whole Darby thing, he needed to prove that he was a wrestler, which was the whole point of that match. And I thought they were going to give, that was going to come out on top. It didn't. I'm not hating it. I think either one of them could, and your cases for either one winning are justified. I was just a little bit surprised that Pac won that one, but
I was too.
I'm not hating on it.
Yeah, I was surprised by it too. But like I said, afterwards, I thought, well, it's probably the right move because also if you're going to extend the feud, and I think they are, somebody has to go over Darby. Otherwise, it's like, if we're going to do another Darby versus a Death Rider at World's End, which I think we're gonna.
Probably.
Unless he ends up in the Continental Classic, but I think we're probably headed for that. At that point, I'd be going, well, why even watch it? Because I know Darby's going to win, right? I mean, because that's what he's been doing against them. So I think from that perspective, and I think there's a lot of that on this show of their setting up future story. Like, this isn't we're doing a bunch of blow-offs here.
100%, yeah.
So I think that's why they did it. Which is why I don't hate the finish. It just surprised me.
Same. Yeah. Like I said, those two put on a great match. They're going to whenever you get them in the ring. And I liked the entire thing. Like, I didn't hate it. I loved watching those two work. And the fact that Pac won. All right. It makes sense moving forward. Yeah. 100%.
And a guy who's also, Pac, by the way, is a guy who's been on the losing end, I think, more often than not. So you need to kind of reestablish his credibility beyond, just how he looks. Women's 4-way tag. Thoughts?
I kind of knew the finish. even though I did not pick the finish,
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted Bane and Shafir to win.
Yeah.
I thought that would have been a really good way to establish the Death Rider win, but also with the caveat that, well, it wasn't a pure Death Rider win because you had Megan Bane. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that team has some legs. Maybe it is a little too early to pull the trigger on that one, and that's fine. If it wasn't going to be them, of course, it was going to be the
Yeah, the timeless
I
love
cannot.
bombs.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the
Yeah.
name off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, the timeless. Of course, it was going to be them. So that being said, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I get that. I here's what I'll say about it. As I watched that, I wasn't surprised by them going over. And
Mhm.
I think that you have a difficult time having somebody go over Tony Storm. You just
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
She's certainly the biggest female star. I would argue she's, if not the biggest in the company, she's top 3.
Mhm.
She's right up there with Mox and Hangman and whoever else you want to put up there. I mean, she is a massive draw for them. And she
100%.
should be. The work she's been doing has been incredible.
Mhm.
Um,
Because if they don't win, then what do you do?
well, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I thought they weren't gonna have Tony eat the pin
Yeah.
and still have the Megasis and Shafir win,
Yeah.
and that way you could still keep that fire moving forward, but
Yeah. Uh,
it makes sense to have Tony Storm go over.
yeah,
100.
I agree. I mean, and I think that was why I thought they would not factor into the finish at all.
Mm,
And with it being a 4-way, and I know there was a stake to it, the stipulation of you get to pick the stipulation for your match or whatever. That's why I thought it was going to go to somebody else. But I don't have a problem with it. To me, I think what this match illustrated was when I went to pick it, I was like, well, I can make a case for all 4 of them.
oh, yeah.
And with this whole women's tag team tournament, what I have really enjoyed about it beyond just the actual matches is when they first put the bracket out, I could make a case for every single team on why they would win.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, there were some that were more likely than others. Like, I like Ty J. I didn't think they were coming out of it.
No.
But you can make a case because they were the 2 that had been tagging together the longest, right?
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
I mean, I could have made a case for every team in the tournament. I think they've done a really, really good job with this. I do.
Oh, yeah.
And what I
Especially, I
like,
mean, yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, what I like is you've got to remember, too, whoever wins it needs at least one challenger, but really needs multiple.
Mhm.
And you're going to have at least 3 teams that don't win that are going to come out of this going, well, any of them could be the first challenge, right?
Yep. Especially coming out of Blood and Guts, the Sisters of Sin,
Mm-hmm.
their credibility went
Mm-hmm.
way up, and that's you can tell that's why they started, with Sky Blue in that match, and
Yeah.
just she went gangbusters, and now, yeah, suddenly that team is like, okay,
Yeah.
you could make that case,
Mm-hmm.
and like you said, they've just done a really good job of building that framework, which is something they really needed to do. So I was
Yes.
very happy with that. And again, seeing it, I get why Tony Storm, the Timeless Love Bombs went over, but it would be interesting to have seen one of the other ones pick the stipulation,
I agree. I
and
agree.
maybe put the Timeless Love Bombs in a corner for
Uh-huh.
something. But
I
again,
agree.
not hating it because, like you said, anyone could have won that, and I wouldn't have
Yeah.
hated any of that outcome.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I did not. They were probably actually third if I were going to list of the 4 who I thought, like in order, who I thought
Right.
was going to win it. Because like I said, I just didn't think they would factor into the finish.
Right. Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with it. I'm sure we'll talk more about it when we get to the final. But right now, who would you pick to be the first champs?
Oh,
That's tough, right?
it is so hard. I think I'm still going with Megan Bane and Shafir. I
Yeah.
really do. I
Yeah.
like that team together.
Mhm.
I think it gives, I think they're probably, in a lot of people's mind, the least likely because they've teamed the least amount together. And I think it gives a lot of fuel to the chase, having a heel team win, number one, and number two, having that team in particular.
Yes.
In that way, you could see a really interesting, okay, then now what happens with Sisters of Sin? Are they going to take that lying down? They shouldn't. And that pairing and matchup moving forward, and she's always going to be the center of attention.
Yeah, she's always going to be around a title. Yeah.
She has gotten to that point in a weird way, like Moxley doesn't need a title to carry the weight. So this could put, I think, Megan Bayne and Tony Shafir, or Maria Shafir into a really neat position in being the first. But then again, it'd be the first, so it's hard to say Toni Storm shouldn't be the first.
Yeah. So here's where I've been at the whole time. My head says it's going to be Toni Storm and Mina Shirakawa.
Yeah.
Because I think exactly what you said there. I think putting it on Toni Storm gives the belts instant credibility. It does. My heart says Willow and Harley.
100%. Yeah.
I love them together. I just dig the energy that they bring to the arena. I would love it if it were them. I don't think it's going to be, but if they end up the inaugural tag team champions, rest assured I will pop. I will pop hard on my couch for that. That'll make me very happy.
I don't know if you should ever repeat the phrase "pop hard on my couch," but
yeah, I heard it.
Yeah,
I heard it. I hoped we could gloss over it, but yeah, I heard it.
That's why I'm here, my friend. But here's my big question about the tag titles in particular. Again, you and I have met Tony Khan. He has a habit of of passing those belts around. Pretty frequently.
Yeah.
I would love to see whoever wins the women's tag belts keep those belts for a nice long run. I mean, a full year minimum. I would love to see that. Cement those belts, make that a thing, so that when it does change hands, it's significant and means something.
Yeah. I think it needs to be a minimum 6-month run for whoever wins first.
At least. I don't want to see it popcorned around between those 4 teams, because to me, then that just diminishes that.
Well, and the other thing too is you're going to get other teams back in it, right? You're going to get some of the folks that lost are going to get back in the picture.
100%.
So you're going to have those challengers as well. I think it would be very interesting, and I don't know. I doubt they're going to go back to it, but I think it would be interesting to bring back the team of Mercedes and Athena. I think that would be very interesting. That surprised me when they lost. I think that would be interesting to reteam them. The thing with Megan Bayne, just going back to you talking about her, the only reason that I don't go with them as winning is I don't know how long you can keep her away from either the TBS or the women's title. I really don't. I think, I know she did a program with Tony very quickly. I thought it was a little early, but I understood why they did it when Tony had the belt. I don't know how much longer you keep her out of those pictures. And by the way, I think she should win. Whenever she challenges, I think she should win.
I agree.
And I think her and Statlander, that could be something.
Yeah. That's money right there.
So anywho, and by the way, going back to popping on your couch, there are those who do it, and then there are those who lie. That's all I'm saying.
I just said you shouldn't say that sentence. I didn't say anything else.
Now I'm going to say it even harder.
Of course.
Again, Blue Chew.
If you want to pop on your couch harder, Blue Chew.
I'm 43 and I don't pouch. I don't pop on my couch or pouch as hard as I used to. That's it. It's pouching now. That's the thing.
Yeah. And guys, it happens to everybody.
It does.
There's no shame in it.
No, you're tired.
Yeah.
You don't have hair anymore.
Yeah.
It happens.
Wait a minute.
Actually, I'm not far away from a high school picture where you can see the glorious head of hair I used to have. But anyway, I'm not going to get it, but it's to my right. Brodito and FTR.
I picked Brodito.
I did too.
Again, one
Actually,
of the
no, I
reasons.
didn't. This is one I got right. I picked FTR.
Yes. One of the reasons I picked, Brodito is because I wanted those titles to stick around longer, and I really
Mhm.
like them, and my fear is now that Brodito is not holding the belts, those 2 are gonna fade into the background, and I don't think that's fair for them. Again, I think FTR is a team that doesn't need the belts to be relevant, and not that Brodito does, but they weren't really that relevant. They came close a few times here and there, but they weren't relevant or as relevant until they got the belts. So my heart was picking Brodito for that reason. I thought the match was really solid. Of course, you were going to have their manager get in Stokely, get in
Yeah.
the mix. And by the way, holy cow, did why can't I think of Brody King? Brody King, who I,
Oh,
who missed the catch? Because I think it was Stokely, right? Someone was not
someone
there for him.
missed. Yeah.
So, and I
Yeah.
saw that and went, "Oh, oh, oh, oh," and even
And
Excalibur was like, "He didn't get all of them." No, he got
no.
one of them, my
Yeah.
friend.
Yeah. Yeah, some went wrong there, but
Mm,
here's the thing. Um, I agree with you. My heart wanted Brodito because I think they've been fun together.
yeah.
My head, obviously, because I picked him, said FTR. It felt a little bit inevitable to me. It felt a little
Mhm.
bit like I, I sort of wonder if part of it isn't to help reestablish the belts, and it's not to say that Brodito or anybody else that's held them recently did anything to diminish them. The
Right.
problem with the tag team belts, and this is true of a lot of championships in both AEW and WWE, and I would imagine it's probably true in New Japan and CMLL and keep on going, they fade into the background because
Oh,
there's
yeah.
too many. And there's too many
Yes.
guys and there's too many
R
women and it's too deep of a roster and you can't get everybody on TV. The tag belts have felt fairly irrelevant for a long time. I think putting it on FTR is an opportunity to change that.
right.
And I think that's what they're going with.
That
I'll
makes
be
sense.
I'll be curious to see who the first challenger is. I think they should run it back with Brodito. I don't know if they
100.
will, but I think they should.
Yeah, they should. And that being said, at least Brodito went out on a high note. I think
Yeah.
you could not have made Bandito look stronger.
Yeah.
Brody always looks like a monster, and he's looks great in the ring, and I think this has showcased what he can do and is just
Mhm.
given him more opportunities to show a more variety to what he how he can work, and I liked that. And like you said, my heart won over my head on this one,
Yeah.
and, so but having FDR have the titles, again, now anyone can come at them, and it does
Yeah.
elevate. I didn't think about the elevation aspect, but you're right, it really
I
does
th-
help elevate those titles and I think it will continue to rise with
I
them
think so
on.
too. I think so too because the one thing they don't struggle to do is get FTR on TV. And and
That is
and, and here's the
absolutely
thing.
true.
That's not a criticism. They should
No.
be on TV. They're a draw.
Mhm.
They have been since they showed up, you know.
What are the odds that, Adam Copeland and Christian are going to be the first challengers
So
and
I
then
had that
surprise
thought.
comeback?
I had that thought that's why I'll be interested to see who the first challengers are because it just might be them.
Mhm. I think it and knowing how seeing how Tony has booked, it seems like on Dynamite, we're gonna get an FTR spot, they're gonna do the thing, and they're like, "We beat everybody, yada, yada, yada," and all
Mhm.
of a sudden, lights dim, music hits,
Mhm.
bing, bang, boom, out they come, and I
Yeah.
think that I even if I'm predicting it, I would what is it? I would still pouch? Is that what we're calling it now?
Sure.
Pouching?
Yeah.
You need to start that. If you're at all gonna use X, just hashtag pouch, and we'll know what you mean. Yep.
Um, really, you could do that on all social media platforms. Also, good God, Blue Chew. It's just the
Come on.
deal's right here for you. I
It's
mean,
right there.
it's right there.
Technically, it's right there, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, given your point of Brodito going out on a high note, I wrote down this possible match of the night for me. They were that good.
So good, so good.
They were that good. Really enjoyed it.
How much did you like the single arm gorilla press that Bandito pulled off?
That was really impressive. That was really
It
good.
is so fun that they give him a lot of the strength spots.
Yeah.
When you've got Brody King in your corner, it's so fun. They're so good to watch. Like I said, they that was a great match.
Yeah. I'm not sure that we're finished with them as a team. I hope we're not.
I hope we're not either.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then the Casino Gauntlet match. So here is something that I found interesting. So I have thought I like the Casino Gauntlet match. I like the concept of it. I've liked it from the jump.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about this a lot during the week leading up to it of, they always play up. You gotta be number 1 or number 2 because there's otherwise no guarantee you're getting in the match, right? But what we have not seen is somebody then say, I was supposed to be in it. I got robbed. I want my shot. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think what I would like to see them do going forward to play up the stakes is give us the Royal Rumble graphic, right?
Yeah.
Here's everybody that's going to be in the match. Will they all get in? And you've got to have like 5 of them not get in.
Right.
And then the other thing I thought was, wouldn't it be interesting if it ended while someone is still on the ramp making their way to the ring? And they almost did it last night. They almost did that and I thought it made so much sense because the Death Riders take so damn long to get to the ring, coming through the crowd. I mean, I loved Brian's line of, well, it doesn't surprise me that Yuta's taking his time because he's an idiot, but you should be running to the ring. And he's right. Like, if the whole concept is this can end at any moment, you should be busting ass to get to that ring. And they almost did it. They flirted with it. I think the next time they do it, they got to pull the trigger and it's got to end while somebody's stepping through the ropes, because right now that sense of urgency really isn't there beyond Excalibur telling us that it's there.
Right.
And I'd like to see them do that.
Yeah. And like you said, Excalibur even said, we have no idea who else should have been in there. It's like, don't you think that's a problem? We should know who else should have been
I think you should tell us. Yeah, I think you should tell us. And I get it that they like to sneak the surprise returns in there.
Mm-hmm.
I get that. But I think what you could do is, you could do, like, remember the original concept of it was a deck of cards. Right? Yeah. You remember that at that very first Double or Nothing that we were at, by the way?
Yes, we were.
You remember that? It was, here's the King of Spades and let's find out who it is. You could go back to that.
Well, wasn't it like 5 people would come at a time?
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I don't want to do that.
Whoever the hearts are and the spades are. It was like,
yeah. You're right. You're right. I don't think you do. I don't think you do that part of it. But if you're going to call it a Casino Gauntlet match, what was casino-y other than luck of the draw if you get in, I guess? I don't, and the random intervals too, I don't love. I would pick a time, but that's nitpicky. I admit that's nitpicky. But I think that if you went back to the card deck concept of it, we're at least doing the face cards and then like the 2 jokers, right? Okay. Well, now we know how many people are supposed to get in. Yeah. And you don't necessarily have to tell us because then the jokers could also be your surprises, right? Mm-hmm. Like you could still do the graphic of, Lashley's the King of Hearts and Ricochet's the Ace of Spades, whatever. And the 2 jokers are question marks. And that's where you can do like the MJF return if they had gone with that last night or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So I think you could work around it. I think you could still do your surprise returns. I just think that if you show us a little bit more of, these are the people that got screwed.
Yes.
Or that didn't get in. I think it gives you more storyline. It gives you a lot more story opportunity there.
Absolutely.
Let's be real. Who do you think Ricochet is going to defend against first? Is going to be Bobby Lashley, right?
Oh, Bobby. Yeah,
I mean, it's going to be Bobby Lashley, right?
No, you're probably right on that one. Yeah.
So
I thought Lashley was going to win it.
I did too.
It makes so much more sense to have Ricochet win. So
yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. I was surprised he won. I legitimately was. But
I was shocked too.
That said, I don't think it's a bad thing.
No,
they got to do something with him.
I can't think of the guy's name. His last name's Knight. He teams with Speedball Mike Bailey.
Oh, Kevin Knight.
His clothesline from the ramp may have been the move of the night for me because I pouched. I was like, oh,
yeah,
that was looked so devastating, and it was so because they're showing him run, and then they switch cameras, and you don't see him, and then he just comes flying. It was so good.
It was
That dude,
insane.
I liked him a lot. I thought
Yeah.
highlighting him, he looked strong at the very beginning, and of course that's
Yeah.
what happens, but I liked Kevin Knight. I think Kevin
Yeah.
Knight is one of those guys to keep your eye on because he was so good in that match, I thought. So
Yeah, I thought that was a big star-making turn for him. The spot too where Speedball threw that straight kick and he legit matrixed. Go back and
yes.
watch that. He did, if I recall correctly, he didn't put his hand down.
Nope.
That
He
is
did not.
insane core strength to
Yes.
freeze like that.
Can we go down a slight little altered path and talk about Speedball Mike Bailey a minute?
Sure.
What are your thoughts on Speedball Mike Bailey?
Speedball Mike Bailey, in my mind, is a mid-card to upper mid-carder. I think that he is a guy who at some point may get a small run with like the national title, maybe the continental title. Cause he strikes me as a guy that could credibly win the Continental Classic if he were in it.
Depends on who else is in it, but
it does depend on who else is in it. Like this year, no.
This
year, no. But like you think back to that first one when it was Eddie before, when it was a beat up Eddie, and like you had Mark Briscoe and Jay Lethal, and like it was a lot of these guys that they weren't doing a ton with at that point.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I if you had a field like that, I could see it. I think he and Kevin Knight would be good, fun tag champs for a couple of months. I think that's his ceiling, though. I don't see a lot more beyond that for him. I think he's fun. I think he can make people look good. But I don't see a lot more from that. Also, I never understand how people wrestle barefoot. I don't know how you do that.
There's just something about, like, I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not his character isn't working for me 100%. It's not taking anything away from what he's doing in the ring. There's something about the combination of all of it for me personally just isn't working.
Well, I think, yeah, no, I get that, because I think, like as you said that, it popped in my head of, can you tell me what his character is? Because I can't.
No,
I don't have a defining, like, this is who this guy is supposed to be. This is what he stands for. Like he's a good guy, and that's about it.
He's Ralph Macchio in his prime in Karate Kid that we didn't get to see.
He is. Yes,
That's what he is. That's his character.
Yeah, he is. And here's the thing. I like the guy. But I like
watching him work.
Yeah, but I think about this a lot with AEW, of especially like recently, as we just continue to tangent here a bit, but that's okay. With Jericho being in the headlines a lot lately, and how it looks like he's probably done and probably headed back to WWE.
Right.
Which is fine. Because I think about it a lot in terms of, when they're not there, do I notice? Do I miss them? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not trying to pick on Wardlow. Wardlow's a guy who's missed a lot of time. Yep. And that sucks, because a lot of it's been for injury, and I hate seeing that. And I do think Wardlow is a guy who could be something.
Right.
But when he's not there, I don't miss him.
No.
The absence of MJF, the absence of Swerve, the absence of Will Ospreay, I notice that.
100%. Yeah.
That Hangman is that way. Kenny Omega is that way. I think if Don Callis goes away for a while, you'll notice that, because in my mind, Don Callis, I don't think this is all that hot of a take. Don Callis is the best heel manager in professional wrestling right now.
Absolutely.
I think he has eclipsed Paul Heyman. I do.
Okay.
I love Paul Heyman. I think Paul Heyman is brilliant. I think Don Callis right now is better.
That's
not by a lot, but I think he's better.
That's fair. Yeah.
And I think that, those are guys. I think Kyle Fletcher has worked himself into a point where whenever he goes away for time off or whatever, you're going to notice it. I think if Speedball Mike Bailey goes away, whenever he came back, he'd be like, oh yeah, forgot about you.
And and that's okay.
Yeah.
But of those two, I would rather see, they've been focusing, Speedball Mike Bailey has gotten a lot of solo shots. I would rather see the spotlight shift to Kevin Knight.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe you're gonna after last night. That
I hope
was,
so.
and if you're gonna keep that belt on Ricochet, and I think you should, it's gonna be hard to justify him going over Lashley, but I think you should. Well, it's not. He'll cheat, and that's fine.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I think you got to pair those guys up. Those two doing the things that they do. Holy shit, dude.
Yeah. I haven't thought about putting them together until right now, and that I may have pouched.
For real, man. The way that Ricochet bumps and the stuff that Kevin Knight was doing, hook it to my veins.
Yeah, because Kevin Knight is a younger Ricochet right now. And
yeah, he is. I mean, hook that right to my veins. Get him a manager though, because man, all due respect, Ricochet. Every time he talks, I think to myself, the best thing WWE did was not let him on the mic.
That's fair. Although when
he's gotten better, but
wait, he was in this match. What match are we talking about? I forget.
We were still on the Gauntlet match.
Oh, that he won.
You're talking about Ricochet? Yeah, Ricochet won it.
I'm sorry. I got so on a tangent, I forgot what match we were talking about. Yeah. His mic skills aren't great.
No.
But I popped so hard when yeah, I said that now too.
That's fine.
I pouched because when he came down and he did the big boom AJ thing with the microphone to the skull, I didn't know what he was doing at first. I was like, what are you? And then I was like, 5 booms.
Yeah. That was funny. Okay. That was funny. And that's what I mean of he's gotten better. He's doing more stuff like that.
Yes.
Some of those early promos though are
yeah, they're a little rough.
Yeesh. And he still has some where I'm like, okay, this has gone too long. Are you sure you don't want him in the Hurt Syndicate and have MVP talk for him? Are we sure we don't want that? Like,
even give him someone goofy like Stokely, something.
Yeah, Stoke would actually make a lot of sense with him. And Stokely is right up there in those heel managers too. He is wildly entertaining. But
he's so fun.
Moving on.
So fun. Yes.
We kind of alluded to it earlier, but this brings us to Moxley and Kyle O'Reilly. I thought, I'll be honest, I don't know why I didn't think it would be as bloody as it was, given who's involved. I just didn't. But here we are. I don't have a problem with it. I just didn't. Yeah. I thought it was a really strong match. I have been. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is part of why I wanted to get this podcast going. I have been very hard on Jon Moxley for over a year now. I have a lot of thoughts about the Death Riders. Whenever that finally comes to an end, we should probably do a special episode about it because I got a lot of thoughts on it.
Not a problem. I
don't think it worked. I don't think it's working, and I think there's a lot of reasons why.
Yep.
I have to give Mox his respect here. He's made a lot of people look good, particularly recently, but he's made a lot of people look good over the Death Rider run, especially that towards the end of it. Like he made Hangman look like $1 million. Not that Hangman needs it, but he did it anyway.
Right.
He has made Kyle O'Reilly, who is a guy that so much in my mind had become an afterthought for AEW. God, he's made him look good these last, couple months.
Yeah.
Big kudos to him on that.
In my predictions, I picked Mox because, no offense to Kyle O'Reilly, I just didn't see him as, to me, up until that point, he hadn't been painted. Yeah, I know he tapped out Mox, but it just, and maybe it's a problem with my brain, but it just wasn't clicking. And I thought Kyle looked better than he has in a long time. I still don't see him, even though he tapped him out for a third time.
Yeah.
It's hard to see him on the level of Moxley.
I agree.
And part of that is because Moxley was there from Boom. We were there when he walked in the arena.
Right. But you're also talking about a guy who's, I believe, a 4-time world champion in that company.
True.
And a guy who, you had talked about before. I think another thing Mox doesn't get credit for is how he helped carry them through the pandemic.
Yep.
Yeah. But I agree with you. I don't see Kyle O'Reilly on the same level as Jon Moxley. But I'll give him kudos for trying to elevate O'Reilly to at least a higher spot. I don't know that he can get him to the same kind of level Mox is at. Right. But I think you at least have created a pathway there. But I thought it was a really good match. I thought it was very strong. I picked Mox as well, if I recall correctly. So I was surprised that he did the job. I do think though it plays into, there's kind of a theme that developed on the Full Gear card where I think there's a legitimate question for both the Death Riders and the Don Callis family of where are you guys going? And I mean that in a kayfabe sense of where are you guys going? Because y'all lost a lot.
Yeah. I think
And
the Don Callis storyline has more cohesive sense going forward.
yeah.
Death Rider, and I thought even the post-match beatdown wasn't big enough to make
I
it
agree.
significant.
I agree. Here's what I think.
Although his arm, that cut on the back of his arm, I think he may have a legit issue going down, and I hope the
think he
best for
does.
Kyle, but
yeah, that looked pretty gnarly. My thought with the Death Rider thing is I think we actually may be nearing the end of it because you now have John Moxley is like your dude, right? Like this is your, he's Michael Jordan. You're the rest of the Bulls, right?
Mhm.
He can't win suddenly. And I have a feeling this may be this beginning of the end of the Death Riders. I would not be surprised if they turn on him sooner rather than later.
I'd be okay with that.
We'll see. But it feels like that's where we're headed.
If that happens, though, who is leading that charge?
Well, I think that's a good question. Because I've thought about that as I have developed this theory. From my perspective, I think if you want somebody that can talk, it's believe it or not, it's Pac, right?
Yeah.
Like it's Pac.
It makes the most sense because he's the most recently returned and seeing the landscape, it would make more sense.
I agree. So I think Pac becomes kind of the front of it, and I don't have a problem with that. I can buy that. I think what they might do if I'm right and they're going to turn on him, I think what they might do is bring somebody else in.
That was my other thought is what third party do you bring in to clean house and right the ship?
I mean, if the Don Callis family falls apart, what if Don Callis becomes their face and voice? I don't think that'll happen, by the way.
Right.
But I mean, that's an option. Beyond that, there's a name that pops in my head. I desperately hope they don't do it. Huh?
Is it MJF?
It's MJF.
Yeah.
I desperately hope they do not do that.
Right.
I really do.
It doesn't make it.
He's better on his own.
Sense. Yeah.
He's better as a solo act.
I mean, because if it is him, then the playbook for that has already been run. He's going to treat them like stooges. They're going to turn on him.
Yeah.
And then you're where you were with really not a lot of gain. But I guess MJF in that role would lend some credibility.
Yeah.
To them.
Yeah. And it would give Mox a hot feud for the first time in a minute.
Well, I was thinking it would give Mox a break because he's been running hard. And it would not surprise me if there is a turn. He just goes away for a while. And I think it's okay if he, like you said, we would miss him, but his leaving isn't terrible. It's not going to kill him. And when he comes back, it will mean more. And we'll see what he would bring. So I'd be okay if one day, even if there wasn't an internal coup, he just wasn't there.
Yeah, so I'll be real with you. After he dropped to Hangman, I thought he should have gone away then.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Yep. I thought just let him not be there for a little bit and let us miss him because I felt he desperately needed that.
Right.
After a year of weird, rambling, bad promos, that even Excalibur's going, he's been speaking in riddles. Yeah, he was. And it didn't make any sense. I thought that would have been a great time for him to take a couple weeks off. They didn't do it. Okay, fine. Cause they wanted to roll into the Darby thing. That's fine. But I agree. I think, if the turn comes and they beat him down, let him go away for a while. And maybe they don't need a new thing, and maybe they just silently murk people. Fine. That actually would probably be the most compelling they've been in a while if they did that.
Okay.
If it was like you never know when they're going to strike, which is I think what they were supposed to be, but never really got there.
Yeah, it never came to fruition, really.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But I feel like we're in the end game of the Death Riders. I hope we are.
Yeah, at least as long as Moxley doesn't go back to trying to do a bad Raven impression with his promos, I'm okay.
Yeah, good God. Yeah. All right, TNT title match. What'd you think?
The TNT title match.
Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe.
No, I was stunned they gave the win to Briscoe. I thought the match was amazing.
It's match of the night for me.
I thought Briscoe, along with Darby Allin, puts his body through so much.
Yes.
Stunning. The only reason Briscoe was my heart to win it. My head told me give Kyle Fletcher that record-breaking defense. Really cement him as separate, because for the longest time he was so associated with his tag partner and with why am I spacing on Ospreay's name? Thank you. He was so associated with Will Ospreay that this would really mount him as he is really and truly on his own. Not that he hasn't done a bad job, but he's a record-setting title defender. It gives him legitimacy. It leans into the belt as well. I get why, and here's why I thought Kyle was going to win. I thought, and I love Tony Khan, but I thought they were going to do the indentured servant bit with Mark Briscoe and make his life miserable, because I could see that happening. It's very old school. And I know Tony likes that old school vibe. And I can see Briscoe being one of the few people that could pull that off and constantly be the thorn in their side and barely getting away with it while still being somewhat, they humiliate him. He comes over and then he comes back and he wins the belt is what I thought they were going with. Having him be the guy to stop that record from happening, 100% okay with it.
Yeah. I'm so going into it, I thought that's what was going to happen too. And I thought that Briscoe was going to be kind of part of the final nail in the Don Callis family coffin, because I think they've done this on purpose. It's NWO-esque how big they've gotten, right?
Yeah.
And I think they've done it on purpose because they've referenced it. I mean, Don Callis has been on commentary and has even been like, there's like 800 of us. I mean, like, he said that or something to that effect.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they did it on purpose. The splinter is coming. We know it's coming. I thought Mark Briscoe could be part of the catalyst of that if he got, forced into the group. But this is what I like about AEW. It's one of my favorite things. I have a hard time predicting matches, as evidenced by I think I got 3 right last night.
I don't think
and one of them was Big Boom AJ, whose name I couldn't remember until today.
I didn't get that one right. Oh no, I got that one.
You
right.
did, yeah. For a while, that was the only one you and I had right.
I think I got 2 right all night.
Yeah, I got because I got FTR.
Yep.
And I got, actually, maybe I only got 2. I was planning to go back and look at the end and see how we did. So we'll do the official record here at the end. But
no, you got 3.
I did get 3. Okay.
Yeah.
What were the 3? I know I got FTR and I know I got Big Boom AJ. What was the other one?
You got the women's title.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So anyway, all week leading up to this, I was like, this is a 50-50 match to me. And I think that might surprise some people, but I looked at it going, I thought it made sense to do the old indentured servant storyline. And I agree with you on that. I didn't really want to see it because I feel, look, I've been watching since the 90s. Granted, I took a big break in there in the early to mid 2000s because there was a lot of meh, but I don't need to. I've seen it. I don't need to see it again.
Right.
Right.
I didn't
I,
want to see it.
yeah, I saw Rey Mysterio in the giant oversized LWO shirt. Right. Like it just didn't feel to me like there was any new territory you could do there. So
Right.
I hoped that they wouldn't do it. The other thing too is I was like, how many times are we going to do the Mark Briscoe can't win the big one narrative?
Yeah, that's fair.
And it just
That's
felt
fair.
to me like if you do that, you're going to lose a lot of momentum. And even though Mark Briscoe has, in my opinion, is one of the great stories in professional wrestling in how he has become a legit star on his own when everything about him says he shouldn't,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, how they managed to take the sympathy that we all had for him with Jay passing and actually did something with it. Actually, managed to showcase this guy
Yeah.
in ways that have made. Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of the great stories, and that was why I was like, I think you got to put the belt on him because if he doesn't win this time, I'm never going to believe that he can.
That's
And
fair. Yeah. Yeah.
it was an inflection point of
Yep.
what is he really in this company. So I'm genuinely thrilled that they did it. I think this has tremendous. I think this has tremendous story potential from the standpoint of I think this is a guy who I could see doing the Cody Rhodes Open Challenge when Cody had it, right? Of you want some, come get some.
Yep.
I think, and the TNT title needs it.
Oh yeah.
It faded into obscurity. It needs a shot in the arm. I think Kyle Fletcher did a lot to help that.
Yep.
To my mind, Kyle has established himself separate of all those guys. I don't think of him as being connected with them anymore. Not really. I think they've done a good job with that. I don't love his inclusion in the Continental Classic because of that, and we'll talk more about that in a minute. But I think he did a lot to help the belt. I do.
I kind of do, and it's for the reason that if with your reasoning for having Briscoe lose being the catalyst for the dismantling of the Don Callis family, his win may be the same thing that is happening there.
I get it, and I don't hate it, but
Right.
I'll show you why I think there was a different path.
Fair enough.
But that's in the main event. One more before, two more before we get
Two
there.
more.
Bucks and Alexander and Jurassic Express and Omega.
This is the one I got right, and it basically was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I thought that the Bucks and Alexander were going to win, but I thought this would also be the catalyst for the Bucks turning face again, and it did pan out that way. I thought Jurassic Express, I mean, Kenny always looks great.
Yeah.
But I thought Jurassic Express looked fantastic. I thought Kenny sold the ankle really well.
I thought he was hurt. Like that's how well he sold it. I was like, uh-oh,
And he could be.
He could be.
But I thought this is another case where I think Josh Alexander came in. He's a killer, but he came in to such a loaded roster that you have to do some special things to really shine the light on him. And I thought that this did that.
Yeah.
This storyline with him and Kenny and Jurassic Express, I thought this really showed him, highlighted his abilities, and I was really happy with that. I thought the Bucks looked great too, and it was good to see them back. It's good to see them get their momentum back and see, because in this last year, if you have not realized that the Bucks are one of the best tag teams on the planet and have been consistently, you're not watching wrestling, in my opinion. I don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You don't have to like the Bucks, but man, how do you not respect what they have done with their own storylines and how they presented themselves? I mean, some of it was kind of, comical and come on, guys, but
that's who they are.
Yeah, but it was effective and it worked, and it made the arc feel real and natural, and seeing their hesitance and finally seeing Kenny get, and I mean severely beat down, which is the kind of beatdown I thought they should have given Kyle O'Reilly, the Death Riders did, instead of Mox coming in, giving him a kick and then leaving.
And I'll say this, I didn't think of it until you mentioned his arm and all that. I wonder if they pulled up because of that. Like, I wonder if it was supposed to be a worse beatdown and it was like, we can't.
Right. It's possible.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
I don't know if he broke his arm, but that cut looked deep.
It looked bad. Yeah. And I think you know, I'd be a little surprised to find out that he broke it. They might work the angle because of Brian talking about, well, I beat Okada with a broken arm, you know.
Right. Yeah.
They may work the angle. I don't know if they did it, but it makes me wonder if they I'm very much intending the pun here, swerved on that one because they had to. But going back to, you know, the match we were talking about, yeah, that beatdown on Omega was legit. And the Bucks looked like, in my mind, they looked like the goddamn Avengers when they got back in that ring to save him. Those super kicks they threw were some of the best they've ever thrown, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
They looked great.
It was such a good clearinghouse, and they did it. That to me, it's that made match of the night because of the storyline and the way it played out.
Yeah.
That's to take nothing away from any of the other matches, because I think the Pac Darby match was great. The Fletcher, of course, you know, Fletcher and Briscoe, amazing match. Clearly a match of the night contender. But for me, the whole thing package wise, start to finish, I think that one worked for me, and that is my match of the night for those reasons.
No, I get that. Like I said, I had about 4 that I wrote down possible match of the night.
Oh, yeah.
I went with, I believe I did say the TNT title match was my match of the night, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay. Because if I didn't, I meant to. Huh?
At least the one we've gotten to so far. Yeah.
Well, no, that I mean, I'm pretty sure this is how good my memory is.
But we didn't. There were 3 more matches to go, but you did call that one match of the night. So
and it is my match of the night. It is, and it's nothing against anything that came after it. It's nothing against anything that came before. You only have one match of the night. That was the TNT title for me. And it's a lot of the same reasons that you were saying. I like the storyline aspect of it. I thought both of those guys came out looking so good. I think the same thing happened here. I thought everybody came out looking good in the way that they needed to. I think you've got some very interesting storyline potential going here. But I'm going to say this. I think the storyline potential is not going to involve these teams running into each other anymore.
Probably, yeah.
Because I think we're now going to go down the Don Callis family is imploding storyline, and I'll tell you my other thought when we get to the main event.
All right. Well, let's move on to the. Unless you have more to say about this.
No, I'm good. I mean,
title shot.
Good. Yeah, just to wrap up the $1 million match. Good story, great match, loved it. Women's world title again. It was a match of the night candidate for me.
Yeah.
I think, you know, like I did with Moxley, I think we got to give Mercedes credit here. I think that she has, you know, I think she was the PWI Women's Wrestler of the Year, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe she was number 2. No, she was number 1. Toni Storm was number 2, if I recall. She deserves it.
Yeah.
I think that over the last year to year and a half, she has been their MVP. She has been really good, man. And I know people are going, well, she got 13 belts. Of course she's, you know, she might be overrated. No, I think, I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've been in a crowd or how many times I've seen on TV. She comes out and I watch people get up and they're going to the bathroom or whatever. Stop that. She's putting on bangers, man. She is every bit as good as she ever was in WWE. You know, I don't know that she'll ever top that match with Bayley in Brooklyn, but that's such a high bar to try and clear. I mean, but she has been really good for them. And I thought she was great last night. She made Stat look like such a superstar. Not saying that Stat isn't, but man, she made her look great. Yeah. I thought they did a great thing, a great job with, you know, selling the arm and all that. I loved the match. I loved it.
I thought it was really good. Then I picked Mercedes. You picked Statlander.
I did.
The only reason I picked Mercedes, I wanted Statlander to win. Like I said, my head won over my heart on this one. But I in my head, I'm like, okay, this is going to sound dumb because she's got 13 belts, but like, what do you do now?
Yeah, it doesn't sound dumb to me. That's why I didn't pick her.
Right.
I was like, you can't keep stacking belts on her. Like you and I had talked earlier in the week and I said, I don't think it's going to be a clean finish. So that surprised me a little bit. But I also think, because I've been thinking about this for a while now, you've got to start showing cracks in Mercedes. You can't keep stacking belts on her. You
No,
can't.
that's right.
I mean, she went over Red Velvet for the ROH TV title or whatever it was. Fine. She should.
Yep.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
But she's got to start dropping some of these.
Yeah.
Otherwise it's Superman who's overpowered, right? And nobody can beat her. Like she's got to start dropping some of these. And I think this is the first crack in the armor. So I'm glad that played out the way that it did. That was my thought on picking Statlander, was somebody's got to beat her.
Right. That makes sense. So I'm trying to think of what belt she drops next. I would like to see that ROH title go away.
Yeah, I think the
next.
next one that we'll see is her dropping the ROH one. She may drop one of these other belts.
They're all those indie belts.
Yeah, and there's, she's got like the Rev Pro, and I think she's got a CMLL belt. I mean,
oh yeah, I think so. Yeah,
like that's another thing that she deserves credit for. The schedule she's been working is nuts.
Yeah. Tony even made a comment that she's working so hard, and it's not like she's cleaning up. Like she's making money, but it's not like she's making ridiculous amounts of money. Because I saw her on I can't even remember the name of just this last weekend, she wrestled for a belt on an indie. I don't even know. I can't remember the name of the company, and she won. And it's like, you didn't make 6 figures on that thing. You didn't make 5 figures on that thing. It's like, I don't know what you made, but man, she's putting in the work. And again, it's been a minute since I've really invested time to actually watch her in her element, because when she first came to AEW,
it was rough.
Yeah, I wasn't.
It was real rough.
Thrilled with it, but I didn't realize how far along I'd come since then until last night when I was watching her. And I was like, nope, she deserves the flowers. She's killing it. She's looking great.
It was tough when she first came. I think she had to find her footing, and she had to find her voice again, and she had to figure out who the new version of her character is. And I mean, look, I like Mercedes a lot. I'm a Britt Baker fan. It's too bad that it looks like she's done with the company. But that match at All In a couple of years ago was bad, dude.
Yeah, no,
it was bad. And I was like, oh boy, this may have been a not a Punk level mistake, but this may have been a mistake on Tony's part. And man, Mercedes has turned it around. All the kudos in the world to her. She deserves it.
She's killing it. Loved it. And again, nothing but respect for Stat for winning that one.
Yes.
Loved it. So
I agree. So the Psy was the main event.
All right. I'm curious as to the Psy. I mean, I have thoughts, but I want to know.
Okay, so here's what I'll say. I thought the match itself was really good. I have no issue with the match. I thought, Joe and Hangman is one of those matches you can give me any time, and yeah, here's some money, right?
Yep.
Here's my issue with it. Let me preface this with I love Hangman Page. So that colors some of this. But I don't understand why twice now you have taken the guy who is allegedly the main character of AEW and you've cut his title run less than 6 months.
Thank you.
I don't understand that. I get the first time you wanted to put the belt on your shiny new toy in Phil Brooks, and that was a mistake. And I think, Tony alluded to some stuff in interviews, in the week leading up to the show. There's some stuff I wish I could do over. I imagine that's one of those things. I do. I don't think he regrets bringing Punk in. I think he regrets putting the belt on him. I would regret that if I were him.
Yeah.
Because that is what started the spiral, it seems like, anyway, right? I don't understand it. This is the only justification for dropping to Joe that I have for you. And I understand it was probably to help get Hook the heel heat, right? The only justification I have is who was next. Who was next in line? And this is a problem with AEW of you don't have that next challenger ready to go.
Right.
They didn't have them. I don't know who it would have been. Now that I've, had 12-ish hours to think about it, here are my thoughts. I told you about why I wouldn't have put Kyle Fletcher in the Continental Classic. What if Don Callis had gone to Kyle either last night or on Wednesday and said, don't worry about the TNT championship. I know that sucks that you lost, but don't worry about it. Mark Briscoe is going to ruin it. Nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to remember it. Your destiny is world champion, and it's time to fulfill that destiny.
Yep.
You were this close the last time you guys wrestled. It's time to go finish the job. You could have done that. You could have just had Swerve come out last night, which, by the way, was great. I love Swerve. That was awesome.
That was great. I do have an asterisk, but we'll go there.
Okay. You could have had Swerve come out and just had him and Hangman stare at each other. And I don't need the heel face dynamic with those guys. And that was, remember when they first started and Cody was out there going, we're not going to do the heel face thing. Like, you cheer who you want, you boo who you want. And I was like, that's fine.
Yeah,
give me good matches. That's fine. If you tell the story well enough, I don't care who's the heel or the face, right? Because we know they're both going to get a pop anyway if you do it right. So you could have had him and Swerve do the stare down, and I would have been 1,000%. Like, World's End is in Chicago. Normally when they're in Chicago, I go. I'm probably not going to go to World's End just because I think the weather may suck. If you had done that, if you had shown me this may be the main event, they may do Swerve and Hangman again for the title, here's my money.
Yeah.
I'm making the drive.
100%.
So I think you had that option. I think you could have, so Okada's got to go into the Continental Classic to defend his weird belt that is weird. It is. It is. But so maybe if it's not Okada, you could have done a champion versus champion with Takeshita. Like, I wouldn't have loved that, but it at least was an option. Like, I think that there were options available to you where you didn't have to have him drop to Joe. You could have gone with Kyle Fletcher again, or you could have taken a month to heat him up. You could have gone with Swerve again. MJF is coming back by all reports. He's getting ready to come back. MJF, remember, has not cashed that contract in. Remember
That's
that.
True. Yep.
You could have had him come back and call his shot. What I think Joe is a transitional champion again in this company. I think his sole role, which is not easy to say, is to drop it to Swerve. That's what I think is going to happen.
More than likely. And here's what, I have a few caveats.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the Swerve coming back.
Yep.
However, I feel like having Hangman drop kind of felt like he dropped so they could bring Swerve back, and it makes it more impactful. And I don't think that's a good move, personally.
I agree.
I think you could have basically done the match, have the hook turn, still had Hangman win. Then you have everyone beat him down.
Mm-hmm.
Then you bring out Swerve and you get the same effect. You keep Hangman strong. You're looking for a challenger? Fine. You have Swerve, but Hook could jump to the front and say, no.
Mm-hmm.
Or have Hangman call Hook out and be like, look, the champ never, you want to jump on the cowboy? Come on, bring it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this. You do a short run with that. You know who's coming out on top. That's okay.
Yeah.
And the whole time you've got Swerve in the background. He could fight with the ops, but he can always be looking Hangman in the eye and going, when you're done with that kid, I'm next.
Yeah.
I think that works.
Mm-hmm. I would love.
Right. They didn't have someone next in line, and I think that's a mistake. And I thought immediately Kyle Fletcher is the logical choice to have that happen. Bringing MJF back, that's a second logical choice. That 100% makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you just want a transitional opponent, bring Shibata, who started the fiasco at the end of the night. Bring him into the mix. Have him take on Shibata.
Yeah. I think there were options. Some of them are good. Some of them are meh. But I think you had some options there. I also think, I think you could have done the Swerve thing with him. You could have even run it back one more time with Hangman and Joe, right? Like, if the ops push him too far. You could have run it back one more time with Hangman and Joe. I don't think you go more than that, but you could have done it. And I think you could have done the thing, if you remember the build, to Rock Austin at Mania 17, which is my favorite match ever and one of my favorite programs ever. They didn't throw down. They would get in the ring and you do the thing where they back into each other and then the stare down of like who's going to throw the punch first, and then one of them slowly leaves. You could have done that with Hangman and Swerve, right? Like you could have done those things to let it simmer a bit before you really launch back into it. I think I like Samoa Joe a lot. I don't have a problem with him as champion. I just don't like that he's probably a transitional champion. I don't like that they keep cutting Hangman's title runs short.
Right.
I think they did it because they think that the money's in the chase, and they're probably not wrong on that. But I mean, here's what I'll say. Another thing that I said storyline wise that I think is interesting. I think they could. I hope they do this. I hope that Kenny and the Bucks say, not only would we like to take our trios championships back, but also you just boned over our friend. So now you got to deal with us. I think that would be really good. That would be really good. I hope they do that.
Very good.
That will make me feel at least a little bit better about it. But
what I was going to say is, I think it's possible, knowing Tony Khan, that this is Joe's last stand.
I think so too.
And I think he wants to let Joe go out a champ. And I think
so too.
I think that colors the decision.
Mm-hmm.
I respect it on one level.
Mm-hmm.
On the business level, I think it makes a little less sense, but I think you still have enough room to move. As long as we can get Hangman back. Because here's the problem. If you have Swerve with the title, it's hard to take it off Swerve because he's just like Hangman. Like it's such a tough thing. So it does take a bit away from Hangman, which is disappointing. But if you get him back with the Elite again and have it kind of full circle, then I think we're in an okay spot, and I think it's justifiable all the way around in that regard. So we'll just have to see what that brings. But it is disappointing that he lost the belt so soon, but also holy balls, that cut on Joe's head at the beginning of the match. Jeezel.
Yeah.
That dude bled buckets last night, and I didn't expect that much. I mean, you knew it was going to be a violent cage match, but when Mox on the card, to see that much blood, man, that one was a tough one.
No, I agree. I mean, and I think going back to what you said there, I agree. Joe has been kind of putting it out there of, I don't have a lot of time left. I think that factored into it. I thought that last night when it happened.
Right.
I agree with you though. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of Hangman Page.
Mm-hmm.
It even diminished him in my eyes last night.
Yeah.
And you know how hard it would be to do that, and they found a way.
Yeah.
You know, that dude is if he's not my favorite wrestler working right now, he's real close to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you diminished him in my eyes. Like that's not an easy thing to do.
No.
So I really didn't like it from that standpoint. I agree with you. I think part of it was Tony wants Joe to get one more run before he's done. I just don't know if the run matters when I do think he's going to drop to Swerve potentially as early as into December.
Right.
I mean, he may drop it as early as World's End. We'll see how they book it. But the other thing I fear is that they're going to run that triple threat back of Joe, Swerve, and Hangman. And I realize it'll be a little bit different this time, but I don't really need to see that again.
No.
But, I did have a thought too. This may lead eventually to like an anarchy in the arena with the Ops and the Elite. That could be fun. But
okay. All right. I'm back on board. I mean, it makes me mad about Hangman, but I'm back on board.
I'll give them this. I will give them all the credit in the world for, I think you have options on the storytelling. I don't know where you're going with it. I can reasonably guess, but I don't know. Right. And there have been plenty of times in professional wrestling where I went, well, I clearly know what's going to happen next, and it did. You know what I mean? Like, so I think you have to give AEW credit for that. I think they do a good job of keeping us on our toes, and I respect that. That's not an easy thing to do in the internet era, and I respect that. Boy, that left a bad taste in my mouth, though. From an otherwise really good show, that left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yep. Especially, and again, no offense to Swerve, they made him look like freaking Superman when he cleaned out the entirety of the ops, the dojo, everything, while Hangman was basically sitting laid out.
Yeah.
And although the closing image was great,
it was.
But not having the belt on Hangman was not. I wanted him to have that belt.
I agree. And I noticed that they made sure to shoot it from the waist up, right? Like they can use that image again and you're not going to see the absence of the belt. Now we'll remember it, but so it left a bad taste in my mouth. Although, like I said, as I've processed it, I think the theme of this show was that it was not a bunch of blow-offs.
No,
it was all setting up a bunch of future stuff. This is not a blow-off show by any stretch of the imagination. So if you came looking for that, you may be disappointed. Overall, I think it was a good show. Look, AEW pay-per-views do not disappoint. They don't. They don't.
When you like you in your words, at least 4 matches that could be match of the night.
Yeah.
That says something about the quality of the card, and I think it was really good. Did we cover the Continental Classic enough? Do you think?
I mean, we could talk more about it. I thought we might talk more about it after Dynamite because they'll reveal the full field then.
Let's do that. Yeah.
But I'm with you. I think Kyle Fletcher probably wins it, and I think that it probably speeds up it's going to be one of the building blocks, I guess, to the downfall of the family.
Right.
If not, then the final will be Okada and Takeshita. I mean, it's if it's not Kyle Fletcher, that's your final. I mean, which is a little bit of a bummer because to me, then it means if you're anyone other than those 3 dudes, I don't care. Like I don't think you have a chance, you know.
Well, and that's without knowing who's in it, but yes, that they've already stacked the top 3 slots, and so it's going to be difficult. Yeah.
One more thing on the main event though too. One thing that's going to factor into this that could be really interesting that we referenced way back with Hook turning, Eddie Kingston's going to get involved, right? I mean, because he didn't just turn on Hangman, he turned on Eddie there.
Yep.
So at least we'll get more Eddie going here, and that's never a bad thing. But
never a bad thing. But from top to bottom, I thought it was really fun. I think the $1 million trios match for me was match of the night. Loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like I say, it was one of my 4 that was a strong candidate for it. I'll be honest with you, I hadn't actually decided on what match of the night was, and then it came out of my mouth on the TNT title, and I went, "Well, I guess that's it. I guess my brain just told me that's it." So,
and again, like you said, that could have been it for me too. The women's match could have been it for me too. Even the main event up until the end could have been it for me too.
Yeah. Brodito and FTR were my match of the night for quite a while until we got into some of those later, main event level, if you will, matches. I mean, it was a good show. It's always a good show with them. You can never fault them on that. I know people will, but I just think you're wrong.
Yeah. And the good thing is there's plenty of other wrestling to watch. You don't got to watch the stuff you don't like.
Yeah, so let's be clear on that since this is the first episode. Yeah, we're going to talk about AEW because that's what Doug and I watch and pay attention to. But that tribalism nonsense, don't come here with that.
Right.
Like what you like, enjoy what you enjoy. Good on you. I'm not going to ever say you shouldn't.
I watch other wrestling that isn't AEW. AEW is where my heart is.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I don't hate any other wrestling product because it's wrestling product and I like wrestling.
Yeah. The more, the better. I want everybody to succeed. Even WWE, which I know some people cannot wrap their brains around, but it's true. So
exactly.
Anywho, so overall good show.
Absolutely.
Like I said, we'll do a little something after Dynamite. And I'm sure we'll talk more about the Continental Classic then because we'll get the full. I think we'll get the full field. It seems like they're going to do the full field there.
Hopefully.
And I think we get closer to the women's tag title winners. And we'll see what they do with this main event scene, which is a thing that is happening.
Yes.
That's all I can say about it right now.
And if we are feeling froggy, I think we should do a deep dive into the Don Callis family and fantasy book it moving forward, because I think there's so many people in it and there's so many ways it could go. That could be a fun little diversion. So
yeah, absolutely. We should totally do that. So clearly we're building the airplane in the air on this.
Yes, we are. As you can tell by our surroundings.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but thank you for being part of the very beginning here. Our Double or Nothing 2019, if you will. Here comes John Moxley. I'm kidding. He's going to throw me through a window now. That's fine. I asked him to.
It'll be all right. It'll be fine.
Oh, we should, one of these days too, we should talk about when Mox totally dissed you twice. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it's hard to forget.
Yeah, well, we should talk about that sometime.
Thanks, John.
You can go see it actually on HBO Max.
Yes, you can.
But anyway, so like, subscribe, do all the fun stuff. You can find us on the interwebs at Elite Heat Pod. That's the website, which we don't really have going yet, so don't go there yet. But also,
you can, but it is a work in progress.
It is,
like this first episode.
It is, yeah. But that's the social media handles. We're on pretty much everything. The only thing we're not on is X, because mostly because I don't like calling it X. It's still Twitter to me.
Yeah.
I think that's the only thing we're not on. We're on all the other stuff, I think so. There's probably platforms out there that I don't know about that we're not on, but other than that, we're on it. We're pretty much on it. So you can find us on all that stuff.
You know that we're on Tickler. We're on Spanx. We're on Pouch.
I was about to say, coming soon, pouch.com, sponsored by Blue Chew. If you know anyone at Blue Chew, send this their way.
Oh, I'm going to have to buy that before we publish this. So
it's probably already taken, would be my guess. But
I'm going to look that up as soon as we're done here.
All right. Well, now I feel like I should apologize. I'm kidding. You're going to get a lot more of that nonsense around here.
Heck yes. But thanks for stopping by. Thanks for tuning in. We always appreciate it. And more to come.
Yep. And if you could leave reviews if you enjoyed it on the various podcast platforms, YouTube, all that stuff, it would really help as we try to grow this thing. And if you didn't like it, don't tell us. We're very fragile.
Correct. Thanks, Blue Chew.